Allô, bonjour, non me sé Cristel Cabilao, Jodian, Pale, di Haiti.
Haiti and the Dominican Republic have divergent economies due to historical, socioeconomic, environmental, and political factors. Haiti's colonization by the French led to an exploitative plantation economy, a heavy debt burden, and ongoing challenges like power struggles and trade embargoes. Environmental issues like deforestation and natural disasters further exacerbate Haiti's political instability and governance issues hinder Haiti's development.
So, before we dig deeper, let me give you some facts about the place. The official name is Republic of Haiti. The form of government is semi-presidential republic and the capital is Port-au-Prince. The population is approximately 11.5 million in 2024. The official language is French and Haitian Creole and the currency is Haitian gourd. So, do you want more? Okay, let's
As we
proceed.
go on in our topic, this Bloom's taxonomy will serve as our guide to learn and know more about the place.
What is the origin of Haiti? Spanish settlers arrived on the island of Hispaniola, which compromises the modern-day Haiti and the Dominican Republic in 1492. Within a quarter century, disease brought by the Europeans such as smallpox and measles disseminated the indigenous Taino population over the next 3 centuries. European colonizers imported hundreds of thousands of enslaved people from Western and Central Africa to harvest sugar, coffee, tea, and timber, all lucrative exports. In the early 1600s, French traders established an outpost of the western third of the island, which Paris annexed as the colony of Saint Domingo. Several decades later, in the late 1700s, Toussaint L'Ouverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, both formerly enslaved, led a rebellion against French rule that culminated with the creation of Haiti in 1804. The first post-colonial Black Republic, Haiti became a beacon of abolition, self-determination, and racial equality.
What are the economic policies of Haiti after colonization? Haiti is a free market economy with low labor costs and tariff-free access to the U.S. for many of its exports. Two-fifths of all Haitians depend on the agricultural sector, mainly small-scale subsistence farming, which remains vulnerable to damage from frequent natural disasters. Remittances are the primary source of foreign exchange, equivalent to more than a quarter of GDP and nearly double the combined value of Haitian exports and foreign direct investment. U.S. economic engagement under the Caribbean Basin Trade Partnership Act or the CBTPA and the 2008 Haitian Hemispheric Opportunity through Partnership Encouragement Act or HOPE Second have contributed to an increase in apparel exports and investment by providing duty-free access to the U.S. The Haiti Economic Relief Program or HELP Act of 2010 extended the CBTPA and HOPE Second until 2020, while the Trade Preferences Extension Act of 2015 extended trade benefits provided to Haiti in the HOPE and HELP Acts through September 2025. Apparel sector exports in 2016 reached approximately 850 million US dollars and account for over 90% of Haitian exports and more than 10% of the GDP. Investment in Haiti is hampered by the difficulty of doing business and weak infrastructure, including access to electricity. Haiti's outstanding external debt was cancelled by donor countries following the 2000 earthquake, but has since risen to $2.6 billion as of December 2017, the majority of which is owed to Venezuela under the Petrocarib program. Although the government has increased its revenue collection, it continues to rely on formal international economic assistance for fiscal sustainability, with over 20% of its annual budget coming from foreign aid or direct budget support. What factors affect the difficulty of development of Haiti? First, foreign intervention and death. Freedom from France in 1804 did not mean an end to foreign powers intervening in Haiti. France only recognized an independent Haiti in 1825 after its former colony agreed to pay reparations that are estimated to be worth 21 billion US dollar. Over the next 122 years, as much as 80% of Haiti's revenues went to paying off this debt. Second, political instability. The US withdrawal was followed by a series of unstable governments, which culminated in 1957 with the establishment of a dictatorship under Francois de Valère and his son Jean-Claude. Their 29-year rule was characterized by corruption that drained the nation's coffers and human rights violations that left an estimated 30,000 people dead or missing. In 1986, massive protests and international pressure forced the younger Duvalier to flee the country, giving way to a new constitution and democratic institutions. And third, natural disasters. Located on a geological fault line in a region prone to severe storms, Haiti suffers more natural disasters than most of the Caribbean nations. Widespread deforestation has left the country especially prone to flooding and mudslides, and the island is also prone to cyclones, hurricanes, tropical storms, and earthquakes. A number of factors magnify the impact of such disasters, including poor urban planning, substandard infrastructure and housing, large coastal population, and widespread dependence on subsistence farming, which can degrade the environment if overexploited. What are the potential strengths and weaknesses of these policies considering their impact on various sectors of the Haitian economy? For our strengths, we have 5. First is low labor cost. Haiti has a relatively low cost of labor, which can attract foreign investment in labor-intensive industries. Second, access to U.S. market. Due to trade agreements, many Haitian exports can enter the U.S. market without tariffs, providing a significant market opportunity. Agricultural potential. A large portion of the population is engaged in agriculture with the potential to increase productivity and export agricultural goods. Remittances. A significant portion of Haiti's GDP comes from remittances sent by Haitians living abroad, which can provide crucial economic support. For our weaknesses, we have 5. Let's start with the poverty and inequality. Widespread poverty and income inequality significantly limit consumer spending and economic growth. Corruption. Corruption within the government can impede efficient use of resources and discourage foreign investment. Limited infrastructure. Poor quality infrastructure, including roads, electricity grids, and sanitation, hinders economic activity and trade. Low education levels. A large portion of the population lacks access to quality education, limiting workforce skills and economic opportunities. And lastly, weak rule of law. A weak legal system and poor enforcement of contracts can discourage business activity and investment. Based on available data and evidence, are the policies effectively addressing the economic challenges facing Haiti, including those related to gender equality and reduced inequalities? Based on current data, existing policies in Haiti are not effectively addressing the country's economic challenges, particularly those related to gender equality, as significant gaps remain in areas like women's labor force participation, access to education and healthcare, and political representation. Poverty and high levels of inequality based on gender, age, and geographic location shape the context of gender equality in Haiti. The country has successfully integrated principles of gender equality and women's rights into national institutions and legislation, but significant challenges remain in the implementation of policies further hinder progress towards reducing inequalities. In terms of endowments of health, women face significant risk regarding reproductive and maternal health, which are exacerbated by inequalities of income, geographic location and education, leaving rural, poor, and less educated women particularly disadvantaged. Lack of access to economic opportunities and the low involvement in economic activity are great challenges to both men and women in the country. In Haiti, gender-based violence is also used to sanction deviances from heteronormative and heterosexual norms, which restricts people's agency regarding expressions and identities of gender, sex, and sexuality.
What alternative economic policies could Haiti consider implementing to improve its economic situation, particularly in addressing gender inequality and reduce inequalities? So, to address the issue, the policies should focus on first is educational and skills development. They should offer targeted education for girls in STEM, establish vocational training for women in high demand sectors, and promote adult literacy for women. Next is the entrepreneurship and access to finance. Create microfinance programs for women-led businesses, provide business training and mentorship, and improve access to credit and grants for female entrepreneurs. Lastly is the agriculture and rural development. Provide training and technology to women, farmers, and ensure to land ownership rights for women in rural areas.
And that concludes our presentation, and I hope you have learned something from us. Once again, I am Bea Rose Bada. Thank you for watching!